Good morning, Vietnam. How you doing, everybody? Sarasota Tim coming to you from beautiful South Florida here at my home base on the property here in Boynton Beach, Florida. And this morning I'd like to talk to you guys about some of the comments I've been getting and a little bit more about who Sarasota Tim is, because some of you may not quite get me and I want to kind of get it clear. It's fun. So stick around. So I was actually, part of my humor is I was out here already for 5 minutes talking and didn't have my mic on. So I'm having to start over. Hope I can remember what I've already said because that was a good one. And anyway, take two. So I am a salesman. I have been a salesman my entire life. I started taking sales courses when I was very young. I was in the automobile business, which a lot of you know, but prior to that, when I was a kid, I went around door to door trying to get people to take the newspaper. Who remembers a newspaper? Well, we used to get them delivered to our door back in the day before the digital world came over and internet. Who remembers Shackley? Who remembers, what was the other one I used to sell? I used to do these in-home presentations like the encyclopedia guy. I never sold the encyclopedias, but I did give a very similar in-home presentation regarding photography. And I worked with military boys, young guys right out of boot camp that used to, back in the 80s, everybody was into photography, buying 35 millimeter cameras. And these guys in the military out in San Diego would go on these Westpacks, what they call a 6-month term on their ships. And they would go to Hawaii and Japan and different places. And they would take pictures of, the ocean and fighter jets on aircraft carriers and sunsets, and everybody was into taking photos. So our little niche at the time was a program where they could get these enlargements done. They were all spot dodge, center balance, and a few other language terms that we used that had to do with photography. And it also included a photo album and a couple of other things. Anyway, I did that for a while. And in my life, when I was young, I've taken many sales seminars and courses, some that were paid for me by the companies I worked for, some I paid for. These guys would come in and pitch the sales department, salespeople. Hey, if you want to make more sales, you want to close more deals, come listen to us and we'll teach you how to close more deals. I've been to seminars, I've done it all. And none of it I regret because it has made me who I am. And I am a showman because I can get along with anybody. And you got to be somewhat of a chameleon. But the problem with it is when I do these videos sometimes, some people want to take things I say or whatever, more literal. Some people lack a sense of humor or don't get one. So this video is to kind of show you and tell you a few of the things that I say that I use as a sense of humor. And it's just all part of trying to be a showman and making it entertaining for you, to be humorous. It's just my personality, really. It's nothing that I've actually learned. God made me who I am, but I have honed in my skills to be a very good communicator. And so I borrow a lot of sayings from movies, from people that I admire, and so forth. And a few of the things that I want to say, that I do say on video sometimes, that people sometimes want to take literally, are just the opposite actually. It's just a saying. For example, you can't believe a damn thing I say. That's a big one. I say it all the time. And you can believe everything I say actually because I'd never lie to you. And so that's just something that I say. It's kind of an oxymoron, humorous statement. Then there's a friend of mine that I admired very much, and God rest his soul, he's gone to be with the Lord now. He and his family are dear friends of mine. His son is an excellent mechanic. His name is David, and his father's name was Jerry, and his wife's name is Sharon. And they were very dear friends of mine. They used to take me on vacations with them. He had an auto center in Marietta, Georgia. And I spent all my time there when I got through selling my auto service coupons that I used to do for 33 years. He was an account of mine, and we became dear friends. And Jerry he was born and bred in Marietta, Georgia. He is a Southern man from the word go. And I just love to hear him talk about things. And he always had stories. And he was very humorous too. That's why I think we got along a lot. And he used to say, one thing I got, plenty of money. And what it was is, Jerry probably did have a little bit of money, but he didn't flaunt it or show it. You certainly wouldn't know it because he just wasn't that kind of person. But he wasn't hurting. He's owned several businesses in his life. But when we would, he just came up with it, I don't know, and I borrowed it from him. One time he bought a Harley Davidson because his son and I bought one, and he always wanted one. And he was getting up in years. He really wasn't still able to ride, so he bought a trike, you know, the three-wheel kind. And I don't think he ever really rode it very much, but he bought one because he said he's going to get one. And he bought it. We were like, wow, Jerry, you got a Harley? He goes, one thing I got, plenty of money. So I started borrowing the saying, and when people would, you know, say something, when I would buy something like very inexpensive, and I would say that, and it would just make people laugh. So that's another one for you. I really don't have plenty of money. I'm not hurting because I always have had 100 in my pocket if I need it. I've made sure of that because I've been self-employed my entire life. And I'm frugal. What's some other sayings that I have that people sometimes misconstrue or take it literal? Because someone suggested that they would like to buy me a coffee, use the link in my description box of my videos, which a lot of you have, and I really appreciate it, to support the channel and to further enhance what I can do to bring you content. And it's only for someone that cares to do it. I'm not what they call begging, but it's there. It's something that YouTubers have. If you give a, what do you call a super thanks that you can do in the comments, YouTube actually takes half of that. Whereas if you use the Buy Me a Coffee link in my description, they only take like a few pennies, and the rest of it does go to Sarasota Tim. So there's that. But somebody had said that we need to get together and support Tim and Tammy on their trip and whatever. And I'm not asking for it, believe me, but someone just suggested that in the comments. And someone said in a follow-up comment, don't give him anything. He's got plenty of money. He even said it back in another video. You can look it up. And I mean, they just went on and on. I was like, man, you're just taking things too literal. It's just a saying. And then I just have lots of them. There was another one. You remember Eric Roberts, an actor, Julia Roberts' brother? He made a Western one time. You guys know I love Westerns, called Purgatory. And he went to town, and he was apparently in purgatory. He was between heaven and hell. It was kind of a sci-fi type of Western. And it had a bunch of stars in it. I forget who, but he was one. He was a bad guy. And Wyatt Earp and them were in there, and it was really a pretty good movie. It's called Purgatory, I believe. And they were trying to be good because if you can just do your last opportunity, you get this last chance to be good, you get to go to heaven instead of going into purgatory or, you know, somewhere that isn't good. And he arrived, Eric Roberts, and Wyatt Earp and them were there, and they were asking him, well, how do you like our little town? Because they were trying to be nice and hospitable to him. They knew he was a bad guy. And Eric Roberts responded with a line that said, it'll do. So when people ask me sometimes, when they give me some food, or how do you like the lodging? How'd you like your room there? I'll say, it'll do. It's just a saying. It's just to get a laugh. And it really means I love it, you know? So this is the kind of sense of humor that I have, that I try to share with the world and the people I come in contact with, in hopes that, you know, they like Tim, and that Tim is fun and humorous and has a sense of humor, and, you know, I want to be liked. I don't want to be a stiff person, or like a lot of people, I'm glad I'm not. So I'm who I am, and I try to accentuate it. And if I can think of any more of my sayings during this video, I will. But on to other topics. Regarding the hammer screwdriver impact wrench for $200 that I bought to take off lug nuts, not keeping it. Absolutely not keeping it. And that was the vast consensus with all of you out there. And thank you very much for sharing that with me, because look, I'm old school. I go to a gym. There's no reason with a little piece of pipe on my T-bar, or I can even buy a bigger T-bar, that I can't wrench off a lug nut or step on it with my foot and to break a lug nut off. And I hope I never have a flat tire. So buying that would be a mistake for two reasons. One, it's money I don't need to spend. And two, it's only good for one thing. And the other gun that I bought that has the ability to put little sockets on, to drill screws in, and do different things, like when I put the backflip on the back of the truck and I had to remove these bolts out of my bed of the truck, and any other DIY projects that might come along, and especially to lower my stabilizer jacks. Each time I take the camper and move it, and I want to bring those down, I don't have to put that T-bar on there and spin it around, or I can just zip, 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 and they'll come right down, and that is something I'm keeping. And it came as a kit. It was a great deal. It had the battery, the charger, and the little drill. And it's made by Bauer, which is not a bad product for a person like myself, and from Harbor Freight, so it was cheap. But the $200 job with that expensive battery and that deep socket wrench, I already have a socket, the T-bar, that fits the lug nut. So it's $3.99. That's going back to the whole thing. It's all going back. All right? And then as far as all this money that I'm spending, well, folks, let me just tell you right now what I've spent. The generator, I live in South Florida, and we have power losses, we have hurricanes, we have thunderstorms, we have a lot of issues that would benefit owning a generator. I mean, the list is long. Everybody has one, everybody needs one, and as soon as there's even a storm coming this way, they're sold out. So step two, the fact that you live in an RV and you might have to vacate the premises here and get away from it because you're in an RV, and you might be somewhere where it's going to be hot, or the power is going to be out for a week or days after a hurricane or a bad thunderstorm or a tropical storm. How cool is it to have power? All the people that have generators, they have power, and so it's a great benefit to have. So that's more than justified. And the fact that I needed at least that many watts to do what I have, and also the fact that there was no tax that week because it was hurricane preparedness, there was no way I shouldn't not buy that. And I had no way of owning one with the 4Runner. But now with a pickup truck, I do. Hence the need for the backflip, secure, hard tonneau cover. So that when we're traveling, I can carry it. It doesn't have to be inside the coach, the RV, coach, 16-foot camper. And it can be on the back of the truck, locked up with several chains and locks. I got 2 or 3 of them on there, and I've got the tonneau cover to keep it out of the weather, so when it rains. So another godsend. Necessary. The soft tonneau cover, by the grace of God, was the wrong fitment because of the railing that I have on the inside that was from Toyota. So I sent it back, but all anybody had to do was just, take a razor blade and, open that up. So this is more secure. Nothing is totally secure for somebody that wants to get something, but it's pretty heavy, and it's got a lot of chains and locks on it. And it's in a locked up, hard tonneau cover with a locked tailgate. So anyway, that was necessary. The truck deal. Who could turn down that deal? I love that Tundra. You heard me complaining about the gas mileage. Folks, it gets less gas mileage than the 4Runner. It really does. But not by much. Not by much. The most painful part of it is the 4Runner had a, 23-gallon tank or something like that. This has a 38-gallon tank. So when you get down and you have to fill it up, it's a little bit of a pain in your side because you have to spend a lot more money than you normally see at a gas pump to top it off. So that's, but as far as the mileage goes, I really believe, even though a lot of you have commented, I'm going to get like 0 miles per gallon, 3 miles per gallon, 6 miles per gallon, I think is the lowest numbers I've seen towing the camper. I think I would respectfully disagree. I think that the people that have actually commented that have campers and own the Tundra that drive 60 to 65 miles an hour are getting 12, 13 miles per gallon, but well over 10. And I do believe that I can get the 15 or 16 or even 17 without towing, driving 60 and 65 miles an hour. It's very easy to throttle that thing and pull that power out. It has a low gear rating in the rear end, which doesn't do very well for gas mileage, but does very good for towing. But as far as buying that truck, you couldn't give me my 4Runner back. And the dealer had it for sale where I traded, and they put black rims on it. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I have no use for black wheels at all on any vehicle. And then people put the black stuff on the chrome, on the badging. They cover that up too. Many people love it. I respect you. I don't like it. I'm old. I like chrome, especially on that red and on this magnetic gray. It looks excellent. It really does. So anyway, I love my truck. And, like somebody wrote last night on a comment, I don't check my gas mileage anymore. That way I don't have to feel the pain. But I just wanted to know what it was, so I checked it 2 or 3 times, driving it different ways, average driving, all highway, and, it is what it is. What are you going to do? So there's that. I love the truck. What else have I spent money on? Let's talk about the collaborations. First of all, some people, and when I make these criticisms or corrections to some of the comments, we've got to remember, folks, there's 58,000 beautiful souls right now subscribed to me. And a lot of people watch that don't even subscribe, but they comment. And there's only a handful that will say something that, is a little less than kind, and I don't have any problem with that. I'm not that sensitive. But when you, go below the belt and actually disparage, well then, you're out of here. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, someone had the nerve to say in a kind of a disparaging comment about how I went in and, negotiated with my doctor. I let him know that I'm self-pay. And he's already known me for about a year. I had several visits with him and had lots of skin cancers removed, of which he was paid by the insurance company multiple times. And I just explained that you're still my doctor, and on December 1, when my Medicare takes in, we'll take care of these other issues because we're still playing catch up. I've always had skin issues. And, they, praise God, they've always been, just basal cell carcinoma. They're not melanoma. I don't want that either. So everything always gets biopsied. So I told him, I said, look, please help me. I said, I have this thing here, and, I don't want to wait till December. And he says, I don't want you to wait either. We're going to take care of that right now. And I said, well, Doc, when I called and I said it was kind of an emergency, the lady said that there's $100 or $75 to $150 office visit alone. And I said, that office visit was from here to here. And again, being humorous and the fact that we have a relationship, that's what I really like about this doctor is we can talk. He doesn't rush. He spends time with me in there. I like this guy. We mesh. So I was comfortably able to ask him, what can I, and he said right away, without even, I didn't have to go into some big begging, pleading sales pitch. I just let him know my plight. And he told the gal that it was right there in the office with him. They always have a nurse in there with him that's taking notes and making the chart and the fees and all that kind of stuff about what the deal is. He said, just take off this and that and code it this way and that way. And, and then that's what it was. And I mean, $235. I walked out of there and, you know, and that'll heal, and I'm good. And I think, I'll take that screwdriver back to Harbor Freight. I'll put my $200 in my health. So God was there. God saw that. God made the guy that cut my hair yesterday rake me with that comb and cause it to irritate and bleed a little bit again, and made me want to just call my doctor, because otherwise, without insurance, I'm the kind of guy that'll just put things off till I'm nearly dead. I don't go to the doctor for just anything, especially if I have to pay. But I've been thinking about it, and I knew I needed to go see a doctor about that, and so God saw that too. So when I got my hair cut, and he kind of irritated it more, I called him up right away, and they happened to say, we can get you in, you know, right away. So there it is, and I got that. And then other things like this one, I got the tires mounted at Palm Beach Tire over on Hypalexo Road, Lantana. Now, I've been going to Palm Beach Tire for a long time. Get rid of that voicemail message. And Ben over there was very friendly. I even told him, I said, you know, a lot of places you go into, like these auto repair places, you know, some auto repair people have a personality that's geared to working on cars. They're not necessarily people. But he's a front desk guy. And I don't know if he actually knows how to do mechanic stuff, but they're lucky to have him, because number one, he speaks Spanish, he's extremely friendly and cordial, and he's always positive. He was like, no problem, I got you, you know, we got it. No, everything wasn't like, well, we can't do that, or no. Yeah, he was just a really friendly guy. So I made a little video, you know, saying go there. And I had a comment about, did I get some kind of a discount or a deal? I was telling you guys in videos about how I had to pay $30, which I've learned is the going rate from what the comments say, but I'm so frugal, I didn't like paying it. But I can't change the tire off the rim. I had to go pay somebody. Even Walmart wanted $2 more. They wanted $32. But no, I didn't get any kind of a discount or anything, but I did get a subscriber. I told him I was a YouTuber, and he went on and he goes, hey, look at you. And he started watching one of my videos, and I think he subscribed. And without even telling them, I just mentioned them in a video because I do promote them. I spent my money there, and I've spent my money there for years in times past, 2 or 3 times. So that's that. I get nothing from doing that, or go in and say, hey, you know, I mean, really, I'm not that special that I can go into a place and say, guess who I am? Give me something for free because I'm Sarasota Tim. Come on. But if someone does go in, like I've promoted my barber a couple of times now, I don't get free haircuts. I asked him yesterday, I said, you ever had anybody come in that say they saw you on my YouTube channel and mentioned Sarasota Tim? He goes, not yet. So, you know, there's no guarantee. And when I got the windows tinted, I told the guy, and it wasn't a barter thing. It was just, I said I would like to make a video and ask for permission to, you know, walk around the shop. And he was saying something about, he thought that I meant maybe, you know, a collaboration, you know, to get window tinting. He said, we tried that before, it doesn't work, or I don't need that, or he's plenty busy, and he is. But I made the video anyway because I like, Tammy's family has dealt with him for 10, 15 years. And so I went there on their recommendation. And so now, you know, I just made the video. I got nothing out of it, but I'm trying to help. I'm paying it forward like we talk about on the channel here. Be kind, be nice. Everything is not about getting something. You know, you'll get, God sees what you do, you'll get, believe me, you're gonna get. And you're gonna get better than anything they can give you. I can promise you that. Now, what else was there I wanted to discuss? My sense of humor. I know I don't get paid. Oh, collaborations. I got my e-bike. I haven't even rode it because I've been busy and trying to prepare the camper. But my Hovsco e-bike that you saw the video of is locked up. And I'm going to leave it with Tammy's family when we go on our little trip because they can enjoy it. But today, Hovsco is dropping another one off free to have a review done on it, and it's a little red one, a folder that Tammy can ride. And we're actually going to try and put that on the back of the camper and take that with us so that we have something to play around with in the campgrounds and whatever, and to go tool around and see the area. I think taking both is going to be too much of a problem. The other one's quite big, it doesn't fold, and this one does fold. And then I have other companies that are reaching out to me every day. This morning I woke up with 5 or 6 more emails. Do you want to try our battery jumper out? Do you want to try these lights out that go in your truck? Do you want to, once you get to a certain subscriber base, the companies around the world, they find out who has, I don't know, a certain number of subscribers or views or whatever, and they start reaching out just saying, hey, you got eyeballs looking at you. Can you, show this stuff? We'll give you one, and, maybe somebody will buy it. And I turn down things every day. I do not accept everything that comes across my email. Here's another one while I got it in my mind. Somebody was saying in the comments about while you're mooching on people to stay at their houses or something to that effect, or on their property or whatever, when in fact, we get emails every day from kind, generous, sweet people, like the guy with the chalet. I think they mentioned something about Tom and his wife that want to have us stay at the chalet. He reached out to me again this morning. We're having breakfast this week to get more acquainted and to meet each other and talk about the cabin, the chalet up there in Ellijay, Georgia. And we're very excited about it. And he talked about that people are renting it like crazy because of the fall leaf changes and all that. And I said, well, hey, rent it out, man, make your money. I said, don't worry about us. We'll do it some other time, or, and he's like, no, I'll block those dates off for you. I want you to go. I want you to experience it and everything like that. And then these people that are emailing me saying, we've got a long driveway. We got 2 acres of land. We would love to meet you and Miss Tammy. You guys seem like nice people. And they're trying to tell me who they are, that we're not, going to slit your throats or anything, that we're just normal people. We watch your videos. We relate to you. We would just love to have you. And it's like the love. I'm not mooching on anybody. And I probably won't even be able to accept all these invitations that we're getting. And then I put out a little help from Miss Pamela, who we had dinner with the other night, that is a traveling nurse, and she's a single woman, and she lost her last partner. And we just said, hey, if you'd like to email me, I'll pass your email in a photo along to Miss Pamela. And she maybe would like to meet somebody that she can travel and spend life with. So, I'm doing that. And we've gotten a couple emails that I've forwarded to Miss Pamela. And if she finally meets somebody and, she's no longer available and somebody snatched her up, then I'll inform you guys, and you can, not send any more emails. But so, yeah, that's who Sarasota Tim is. Sarasota Tim is a very, very blessed man. And my life has gone from this to this every year of my life. I've never, even though I've had ups and downs, and I've struggled with alcoholism and some other things, and I haven't always been the kindest person in the world, and I've been divorced and all the other things. I put my pants on one leg at a time like anybody else. But I look for ways to improve. Like when I talked about earlier about looking for ways to be a better salesman, to learn how to be more of a showman, and to get on common ground with people. These are all character building things that I want to do for myself. It's not to, con somebody. It's just what is in me. How can I be liked more? How can I communicate better? How can I excel and succeed more in life? That's all that is. And I want self-improvement. And it really surprised me how some people that can use a lot of self-improvement don't even think about that for themselves, that read a book or listen to some tapes or podcasts on what you can do, as I try to talk about in my videos a lot of time, about being kinder and sweeter and, giving a compliment and, using people's names and doing a favor for somebody, helping them financially, mowing their grass, and just doing different things. Because all this seed that you plant, all these good deeds that you do, and all this love and friendship you try to share, as so many of you are doing towards me, and I know towards others as well, it's not just for me, are reaping big time rewards. God sees that. And so my final message is those that want to take certain things literal, or are hell-bent on their lives aren't happy or something. I had a couple people that seem to be the same person that just keeps getting another email and wants to say ugly things towards a couple of the subscribers that reply, and they get into a replying argument with them. Now, this video is not about them or about negative comments. I only get a few, but I just will throw that in there, that some people are just like that. I pray for you. I pray that you can get over yourself and turn from those ways and repent, and say, what good is it doing? Or why are you watching? That's the biggest brain stumper I have, and they know every single move and what I've said, and okay, well, why are you watching? If I go to a restaurant and I didn't like their food or their service, I don't go back. So anyway, moving on. I think it's time to go see what Miss Tammy's doing. I'm waiting for the FedEx guy. I got a little bit of sweat dripping down me in my shirt right now because it is humid and it's warming up. But I own the place right now. No one's here. Miss Tammy's car is right there. And I'm going to give a call back to the owner. He called me while I was making the video. And I'm going to find out what's going on with him. And together today, I pray each and every one of you, I caught you there, that you know that tomorrow's not promised. You know that yesterday is gone and can't ever come back. What's today? Today's the day to crush it.